Today, more warning signs surface about the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, and how it won't be nearly as affordable as the Obama administration originally led Americans to believe. Now companies are flooding the IRS with questions about how that agency will handle one of the law's key mandates, that employers with 50 or more full-time workers must offer affordable health insurance or face a hefty fine from the government. But why does the IRS and not the employers themselves get to decide who counts as a full-time employer, as a full-time employee? Here now to discuss are my freedom fighters, Fox Business senior correspondent and my buddy Charlie Gasparino, Bridget Harrison, Montclair State University law and political science professor, and Benjamin Powell, Suffolk University economics professor and Independent Institute senior fellow. Benjamin, to you first. Is the IRS going to decide who's a full-time employee, or has the government given employers an incentive not to hire people full-time anymore?
Well, I think clearly the IRS or some government agency is going to be the one to decide it, because otherwise, magically, everybody would just be defined as not full-time, which ultimately, by the way, I think would just be a good thing. But unfortunately, then once the IRS defines what full-time is, that's going to raise the cost of hiring those type of workers, and you're going to find companies run away from doing it. That could mean replacing full-time workers with part-time ones. It could also mean replacing them with machinery so that you get the same amount of productivity out of fewer workers, or it could mean sending the jobs overseas where they don't have Obamacare that they have to deal with. You're going to get a combination of those three effects in response to the definition that comes from the government.
Switching gears to something local governments want to do. Law enforcement agencies across the country will soon arm police officers, not with another gun, but with a controversial handheld facial recognition device. That means officers will have the power to take pictures of details on a person's face from up to 5 feet away, or scan a person's irises from up to 6 inches away, all without a warrant and all without consent. It certainly would be safer and easier for the police if they could do this, Benjamin Powell, but who would want to live in a society where the police could do whatever they wanted to do in order to preserve their version of safety?
For the first time that I've been on with you, Judge, I think we've got unanimity of everybody on the show tonight here. This is just a travesty. And think about the thing. Plenty of unjust laws that we have in the United States now, that someone's got a victimless crime on their record, and yet there's some police officer who believes that's a good law, and he's going to scan someone and then know about their past and then be able to treat them differently and harass them.
Follow them around for 3 days?
Right,
which is
right.
what
Yeah,
they
the
do.
concept of the police following you in the streets and holding up their cell phones like this and taking a picture, or getting 6 inches from your eyes to get the inside of the iris. And as you know, the iris is unique to everyone, like fingerprints
like
are.
DNA,
I mean, this is worse than what the Soviets visited on Eastern Europe. It's so nice for all of us to agree. Benjamin Powell, Bridget Harrison, Charlie Gasparino, thanks for joining us.